Welcome back to day 2 of my whiteboard design challenges. So I took a lot of lessons from yesterday that I really hope to address today. Main points of concern being to put out more designs than before and to focus on my time management a little bit more. So just like my last video, I have my random numbers set up here. I'll put 45 minutes on the clock once again, and we will see what is going to happen. All right, lucky number 4, 45 minutes on the clock. Give myself just a second to pull it up and then we'll hit start. Let's take a look at what we're doing. Number 4, design a wallet app that securely stores all of your travel documents. Okie dokie. And I'll hit the start button. Start. All right, and again, Command C. We're gonna minimize this. I don't want to see that if I can avoid it. All right, so I'm gonna try something a little bit different this time. First, I want to look at our context. And we're going to fill this up. Okay. Context. I think maybe my board's pretty big here. And I'm going to break this into a couple of other sections. This is a new method I saw that I'm going to employ today. So problem space and solution space. So we're going to be working in 3 sections. So let me get my prompt out here, and again, I would love to just jump in and start asking questions right now to any interviewers, but of course they do not exist. So we are going to once again role play. Here is my prompt. Design a wallet app that securely stores all of your travel documents. Okay, so first of all, who are my users? Okay, so I would ask at this point, who are we designing this app for? What's nice is that it says design a wallet app, so it looks like we're building from scratch. We're not just adding a function or a feature like we did yesterday. So I might ask, who is our target market, or target audience, target users, target humans? And a good answer would be adult travelers of all types. Notice that the prompt doesn't say specific for airports or anything, but we can maybe narrow this down. Where will users use this app? Before and during any form of travel that requires storage of documents or use of documents, something along those lines. Okay, one other question I would love to ask here is, I actually don't know, let me think a little bit. So user objectives, why will users need this app? Okay, so I think that I'm making an assumption here, and I'll be clear about that this is an assumption, like all of my answers, that users will need this to stay organized during travel planning and the act of traveling. I'd like to see my clock. Let me move this over a little bit. Great. Okay, so I still have quite a bit of time here. Basically, I want to kind of utilize this time to understand the context of this problem. Any more questions I might ask about users? What methods of traveling will users typically use. And here we can say air travel, train, buses, and what's something different? Public transportation, of course. And while I thought of that question, I have another one. What other applications can the app be applied to? And to clarify this question, I mean, aside from just the traveling itself, where else could they use this? So we could say event tickets, dinner reservations, perhaps, you know, admission passes, anything like that. Great. Okay, so I've spent 5 minutes on my users here, and I think that's important because they're the most important part of this process. And if you have a keen eye, you can notice that I did not delete my previous whiteboard that I did. No, delete that. Oh, goodness. The learning curve is real, folks. This is not a joke. There we go. Maybe I could just minimize all this. Yes, perfect. Okay, so that took too much time. I want to move on right away to my business objectives. So my business objectives, let's consider business. Okay, so provide a usable app that is desired by travelers. And how do we make money? Make money. Add revenue, partner with travel companies, right? Let's get some ideas there. Any constraints? Probably budget. We can always include that. Minimal budget. Let's go with that. Let's make this a bit of a challenge. And I don't need time, but a success metric when users choose our app first for any of their travel needs during a trip. And the reason I want to specify that is because I believe that while planning the trip, this isn't the main app that you will be using. So, all right, I'm a little bit ahead of schedule, and that's perfect for me because I need time for the rest of this. So let's explore my business and user problems and explore my user needs and maybe take a look at a use case. So let's start with some user problems. User problems. Easy does it. Okay. Too many apps while traveling. Okay, so airlines and trains all have their own ticketing apps and platforms, etc. Perfect. Hard to keep track of where items are. So what I mean by this are tickets, email confirmations, etc., etc., etc. Okay, and other problems that our users might have. What might be an extreme problem that we could think of here? Oh, I know. No access to Wi-Fi while traveling, Wi-Fi or internet. So let's make sure that that's something that's addressed. I think that's a pretty important one. I might even try to highlight this a bit more, even though I don't know how. Oops. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. The learning curve is real, folks. This is not a joke. Okay. That's fine. We'll just leave that as is. Ah, bold right there. And Anything else I can think of right off the top of my head, or should I move on? Let's look at a couple business problems real quick. Oh, I don't want that anymore. Okay, business problems. Ooh, most companies have reliable apps already. Um, we have to combine many different services to provide a smooth experience for the user. And we may be limited by importing methods. This is something I know very little about. This would be a great time to really ask some developers questions, but I don't have the developer kind of insight. So that's where I know that my problems really lie. Good thing is I'm still a bit ahead of schedule. Let me move on a little bit. I'm going to make a whole new one here. And we're going to go on to some of the user needs and the business needs. Okay, so I kind of addressed this earlier, but let's go through. So, single app to handle all documents. Oops. Smart organization, either by date or type. Custom filters, custom sorting methods, right? Something along those lines. Offline access. Okay, I think that's huge, especially if you're familiar with some of these apps that use the QR codes for your ticketing. If you can't access that, I've had the case where we couldn't access it on a bus, and that was an issue. So business needs. Okay. Can I think of any other user needs? Again, financial incentives. Appeal to a large base of users. And smart marketing. So maybe if we could highlight a key feature, something that really sells the app, then that would be great. Anything else that I might think of for our user needs? Let's explore. I have plenty of time here to kind of explore these ideas. So what are some other problems that my users may have at this time? Let's go back. Adult travelers. It's busy. If you have a family, variety in user types. I think that's important. Quick access. I think that should refer to easy retrieval and intuitive document suggestions, i.e. date and time correlations. Okay, let's focus in on a single use case. I don't really have a user persona fully hashed out yet, so we can work through that with this next little bit of time we have. And this is breaking a little bit from the mold that the template suggests, but I'm okay with that because this is a design process and there are many different steps that need to be utilized. Okay, let's hash out a little persona. And yesterday I did a guy, today we'll do a girl. Give me a random letter. I see a Kellen Bechtold on my TV screen, so Kellen it is. So Kellen, and this is perfect. Oh, this is great. So Kellen is a free-spirited but highly organized professional woman who is going on a 1-year backpacking trip. I don't want to hash out too much about her. I'm pulling this from somebody I really know, Kellen Bechtold from the TV show Survivor. If you know anything about her, I followed her backpacking trip that got cut by COVID. So I don't actually remember how old she is, but we'll say she's 26, well educated, successful, uh, but on a budget. So Kellen needs a smart travel document wallet app to keep herself organized for the various methods of travel she will utilize on her trip. For the various methods of travel and entertainment. I'm sure this isn't the best sentence, but it works. She will utilize on her trip. We will know this to be true when Kellen chooses our app as her primary method of ticket retrieval. All right, so I have about 29 minutes. And let me backtrack a little bit, make sure I'm not missing anything from what I've already established here. So we're designing a wallet app securely, okay? Securely, this is huge, right? I don't want to move on too quick. Securely. Really, this is, wow. User problems. Security of their documents. I mean, that's huge. And that's something that I really should have been focusing on. Comfort that their documents are safe. Okay? And I don't have to define that too much because it's right there in my problem statement or my prompt. But it's good to hash it out. Once again, if you're watching my video and you hate my voice, I am truly sorry. Okay. I hope I got everything there. Who's our target audience? Adult travelers. Before. Okay. You know what else? Okay, you know what? I already addressed this. I was going to say that right now there's kind of a problem with keeping everything organized. There's so many different places that you book things, but I already addressed that. User needs single app to handle these. Smart organization, that means within the app. And easy importing. Okay. What methods of travel? Yep, that's addressed. Why will users need the app? Yep. Event tickets, yes. Business objectives. We're gonna make money. We're gonna have to put some ads in here as well. All right, so I have 27 minutes to start working on some solutions. So I'm going to try the how might we method. And how might I do it? That we will find out. I'm going to try this, and we're going to go all the way to the top. We're going to build right down. So how might we combine various app features? Try to clear that up a little bit. Auto import export functions on familiar travel apps and websites. Expedia, United Airlines, could be anything like that, right? How might we combine the various app ticketing features? Sorry. Uh, hmm. Is it possible that we could put something in the user's push notification option whenever it believes you're on a travel site? So maybe recognizing keywords related to travel. Oh my goodness, keywords related to travel. Okay. Right, perfect. So if it sees it on your screen, something like that, how might we keep track of where everything is? How might we organize information on the app? So I might say traditional sorting, filters. Perhaps we could do cards that show the different types, different categories, trains, restaurants, etc., etc. What else might we be able to do? By date, so calendar, chronological display. Right. And I should stop making that noise into this microphone. How might we compensate for lack of Wi-Fi? And right there, downloadable documents, offline usage. Maybe we could like archive history versions or something along those lines. So, automatic backup to photos if the user chooses. That might be an interesting method. Okay, now security, variety and types of users. How might we appeal to all users? Apply design heuristics and market to multiple demographics. Okay, and of course that's addressing some of these business needs as well, which is great. That might work for our financial incentives to increase the ad revenue later. Yeah, great. And for this one, how might we instill a sense of security? Password protection, fingerprint protection, something along those lines. Clear policies, clear and easy to access policies. And I'll make this a little bit bigger. Great. All right, and let's think about a couple of possible solutions. Let's apply what we have here. Let me throw some frames out here. I just want to see what we're looking at. Fill it up. That doesn't matter too much. We don't need to see all that. Okay. So let's hone in on Kellen's scenario here. So Kellen's going on a round the world trip. What I would love to see for Kellen is a way that she can see everything here. How can I do that again? Okay, so perhaps something like this where we have some categories, and I'll throw a couple of colors on these just to, right? So we have a few categories. I mentioned this idea earlier. We might have like restaurants and some restaurants, flights, trains, etc. We don't need that. Okay, and up here, filters. No, we don't need that for this idea. Yeah, let's get out of there. Yeah, we can just do one more of these. Okay, so we have a few different categories, kind of a nice way to look at it, I think. A bit of a modern take on the idea. So my other idea was perhaps doing a calendar. So let's get rid of these. Probably missed one. I did. That's okay. I don't mind that. So this one will be more calendar form. And we'll get that out of here. That's fine. We'll say it's a calendar here. And then we're going to have like a list of the daily events. So we'll do like that. Sorry, I should change that first. Activity 1, activity 2, document, etc., etc. Another idea we could do, and this is just kind of playing with the home screen a bit, maybe we just right off the bat present today's itinerary. So we do today's itinerary, and this could be like a list with like all of their things right there, and then like document 1, document 2. Yeah, you know what? Like we could do this a little bit different. On my other iteration here, activity 1 and document. Right? Make this bigger so I can see it a little bit. Actually, I don't want to move that yet. Yeah, great. And we'll do that. Activity 1 in document, and then activity 2 in document. We'll just copy and paste that one here. Activity 2. Great. What's another way we could do this? I kind of want to think about the journey really quickly if I can. I have a few minutes here. So if I'm Kellen, I'll draw this out. I might be getting off track. I'm not sure. So we plan a trip. We find what we like. We book it. Check email for confirmation. Maybe download the app or access the file. And you could do this here. Check email, access file. All right. And then we leave it there, and then we just come back later. We come back a few months later, and then we do those first steps all over again, perhaps. And then we use the file at the checkout, show to ticket officer, enjoy the show. Yeah, enjoy the show, sure. But right here we have this huge gap, and what I kind of want to do is make sure that this product is filling that gap. So I really need something. We're going to take step off. So let's say that we are right here. We've just booked a trip. Booked on Expedia. Okay. Sorry, I keep making that noise. Stay with me here. Import to our app. And this will kind of look like an overlay, right? Maybe we could do something like that and do a couple of little buttons on there, like yes or no. Yes. Yes. Okay. So I want to get right there in that user flow. Okay. Good. All right, I have about 15 minutes here. Now, something else I want to make sure I'm addressing is their security. So welcome back. Username, password, do a little green, a little opacity green here. But then also we could do a little circle, oval, and fingerprint authentication. All right, so I have about 10 minutes left. I have a few good ideas here. Let me build out my flow for Kellen. And we're gonna do this all in one nice user flow. And I have 15 minutes. Let's see what I can do here. So, we'll just say step one. Kellen decides to travel the world. All right, so she's a happy camper at this stage. Step two. Kellen finds a great deal on US. Oh, I don't even think they exist anymore, do they? Maybe American Airlines website. All right, so Kellen is happy, and Kellen books. Kellen books her flight. All right, so we kind of started here already. I used Expedia in my example here, but let's put this into my user flow real quick. So we're gonna say American Airlines. And let's see what I can do with our overlay option. So one thing I want to do is just up here. All right, user's phone. On the right hand side, they probably have their clock or something. So it says like 10:22 p.m. Bad idea, probably. Okay, so it kind of looks like a phone screen there. And we're going to give them a nice little notification here. And two things are going to happen. So I'm going to show that. This one here. That's too big. But we can say would you like to add to your wallet? Okay. Or just maybe add to your wallet. And we could do a button right there within that shape button. Okay, green action button. Sure. But also, I like the idea of on top of this screen, we do an overlay on the website, and would you like to add these tickets to your wallet now? And in here, we'll just do like a kind of gray, perfect, and we'll do yes, and a later button. How am I doing on time? I have 10 minutes, great. I'll just do white for that. Okay, we're not discouraging them at all. We could do all caps. Great. A little consistency. All right, and let's just do this right now. So I'm not prototyping the American Airlines website, but I am prototyping this overlay. I want this red. Let's make it pretty thick. I want to make sure people can see it. Good. And now we'll just copy this. Oops, we cannot. Nope, we cannot. New line. Here we go. Oh, sorry. We don't need that. Sorry. Great. But we could do this one. No, I cannot. Makes sense. Yes, it does. Okay. All right, so Kellen has booked her flight. We have not seen this yet. We're going to assume she already has the app. So step 3, let's focus on our own product for a second. Oh, sorry, that was 3. Step 4, I have 9 minutes. Okay, I'm getting kind of nervous here, but we're here. Kellen checks her tickets on our app here. Okay, and what did we do here? We're gonna do this screen right here. This is kind of a key screen, but now we can make it a bit more personalized. Welcome back, Kellen. No, we don't want that because then people will know her name. Let's think about our security. Great. Hash this out just a little bit. Can just write a little text here. Fingerprint authentication. Okay, I could do even more with this screen, but it's not really necessary right now, you know? This is great splash screen. So right away, we know that it's secure. And you know what I really liked is that calendar one. I think the calendar one's probably the key to this. So let's see her calendar. Travel calendar. Let's make it fun, right? Great. Center that. Cool. And we can just do some boxes. Doesn't have to be perfect. 3, 4, 5. That works. Yeah, cool. And we'll say that this is our highlighted day. Our selected day will be like a green, maybe a lighter green, a little different. And I really like the idea of seeing the itinerary. Okay, let's go down. And 24, 36 is fine, maybe. Yeah, that's fine. And now she should be able to see her flight. AA191. Okay, American Airlines. And then we could do, some kind of little picture about where she's going to, some details. Details. Date. Time. Okay, something along those lines. Yes, perfect. And maybe she already had a nice dinner reservation that day. Undo that. Dinner. Details, date, time. Great. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead in our journey. And step 5. Kellen leaves for her trip. Opens the app to check tickets. Let's see, 4 minutes, 5 minutes here. Let's do that. Okay, so quickly hit that. We're going to go boom, boom. She's in. Yes. And this is kind of the same thing, right? So we'll do this. Flight American Airlines 191. And then we could have like the details, so like a check-in time. Date and time, really big. Gate, I think that's a good one, right? The gate. Wowzers. Detailed info. And open ticket. This is going to be a huge call to action button. This is what they're here for. So this is going to be big. I want this to drop down just a little bit. Perfect. This is our big green. Alrighty. I could have used better color schemes, but that's okay. And here we will see like perhaps their QR code, something like that. Just do black square. And great. Option off a couple of these. Okay, we kind of have QR code look. Wowzers. Yeah, that doesn't really matter. We're doing a bunch of these. It's fine. Great. Okay, we have like kind of QR code. So Kellen scans her ticket. All right, Kellen scans her ticket. She boards her flight. We have 2 minutes to present this. So let's go over what we've done here today real quick. So while we do this, I'll finish that prototype quickly. All right, so the prompt that I had today was to design a wallet app that securely stores all of your travel documents. And so in order to do that, the first thing that I did was ask questions about the user and defined the user needs, the business needs. Also ask questions about the business, sorry. And from there, we thought about the user's current problems, what their needs are, and we built out a little bit of a user persona based on a real Survivor character who really attempted a round the world trip last year. And then from there, we moved into the solution space where we thought about some how might we questions, and using the information that was already established here in our problem space, we answered some important questions, and then we ideated on a few different methods of how we could deliver some content to the user. And honestly, looking at my design right now, there are still some issues, um, but we've put together a real user journey of how Kellen decided to travel the world. She found a great deal on American Airlines website. As soon as she booked it, our app intuitively responded with an overlay in the app and also a push notification at the top of her screen that gives her two call to actions to add this straight to her wallet. And then she checks the tickets on her app. Simple fingerprint verification, very secure, but people love it and can use it. From there, she could see that it was added to her itinerary. And later, she was able to open the app, retrieve the ticket, board the flight successfully. All right. So I went just over 45 minutes there. And that's okay. I saw the time coming. If I needed to rush that last sentence out there, I could have. Um, wow. I feel really good about today's design challenge. This was uh, a bit daunting at first, but this method really seemed to be pretty effective compared to what I did yesterday because I was able to successfully iterate on more than just one idea. I didn't commit to an idea too early. I was still able to get all of these elements addressed and answered. And because I broke this down into 3 time frames, 10 minutes for context, 10 minutes for problem space, 10 minutes for solution space, I think that, sorry, 25 minutes for solution space. I think that the time management concerns that I had from my last challenge have been addressed quite well. Um, Other than that, I'm just happy that my computer did not crash, that I have a working prototype on my board here, that the wireframes seem to make sense. I didn't go too crazy with the details. I caught myself when I tried to do that. Um, and yeah, overall, I think this went pretty well. Feeling good. 2 design challenges under the belt, and hopefully I'll keep going with these. This has been a fun experience. Thanks for watching.